Welcome back. We're on our final block, so it's been quite a journey. This is it. No birds, no lizards, no butterflies or dragonflies, just a beautiful block to finish it off. I have my last block and I'm going to give it a fresh press again. This one's been sitting around for 12, 13, 14 months, 12, 13 years, for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. I'm going to get out my light box. While I do that, you can come a little bit closer and we can finish off this last block in the series. We have the contents of my package opened up here. We have our color cover sheet here. This is useful for helping us place similar sized shapes with different colors in the correct location. I have our instructions over here that I'm going to stack up my paper backings on, and I have my paper pattern here in the underneath my background fabric. Oop, I have to plug this in or it's not going to work. And then I have all of my separate pieces, and I've just taken a few seconds to go ahead and kind of place the components near where they're going to go on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The only thing I really have to worry about on this, because there's not much overlap, are these two pieces here. They go on underneath the orange, so as long as I get these two underneath here, that's all I have to worry about. And I knew I was missing one piece, and there it is. When I turned my light box, I found it. So all of these pieces have paper backing on them, and then sandwiched in between the paper and the fabric is a layer of Steam 2. It's super thin, but it's also super strong. And that Steam 2, you could see, is a little bit sticky when you take the paper off, and it's also kind of shiny. But in order for you to get the permanent bond, I mean, this will hold pretty okay while you're working if you needed to move around. And it will hold okay if you ironed it only, but what you really need to do is use steam. Without steam, you're not really going to get the permanent bond that you need with this, and that's why it's called Steam 2. Steam is a required component. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on, because these are really the only thing that have to go under anything else. So then it's all downhill from there. I can put anything else in any order I want. I wonder what some of you have as far as favorite colors or least favorite colors. I will tell you this right here is my least favorite color. And this is my most favorite color. And I think it has been for a very long time. I love the combination of these two together. That's a real big favorite, especially in batik. In batik fabric with any shades of these two colors, I love. But I also really love red and green. Anything Christmas, love that. But I wonder what some of your favorite colors or combinations are, or if there are any colors that you really just don't like to work with. I don't mind working with this color, but I don't know that I'd want to make a whole quilt out of it. You can see how quick that paper peels off of there. I'd never have an issue. If you have an issue, you could always just score anywhere on the back paper and then bend the paper over where you've scored it, and that edge will lift up, and that'll give you a place where you could grab the paper and lift it right off. And sometimes that's useful on a piece where you're worried about messing up the edges. but in my climate, I just never have an issue. The pieces come right off, really. I just always think about how many different people, how many different ways, combinations of people could help with this as a fun project. Grandkids, nieces, nephews. Let me see, is this one? Yes. A lot of these circles are similar shape or sizes, and so you really just have to lay them over to make sure you're using the right one. It's easy to get them confused. I love how carefree this project is. I love how carefree all of these appliques are. I've worked on projects that are so mind-boggling. They're so contorted. And I know it's not impossible, but like paper piecing, foundation piecing always twists my brain around because it seems like it's reverse. And I have to concentrate so hard on making sure I do everything right, and inevitably I'll make a ton of mistakes. But this is the opposite of that. It is so visually easy. I mean, you see what you get, you know, you can see where it goes the right way. You just peel it, place it, and press it. And that's the beauty of it. Oh, here we go. If you make a mistake where you've put something, all of these pieces are repositionable. All you have to do is go back in and put it where you want it, move it around. Until these are fused, you can move them as many times as you need to. And we're almost down to the last piece here. I've got 2 leaves left, or 2 paisleys, or 2 squirts. I don't know what these are. 2 embellishments. And there you have it. Just that quick. And look what I found on the floor. I'm going to have to go back through all my blocks and see if I've lost an orange dot somewhere. I wonder if I lost that during one of the videos, and one of you out in the video world, somewhere around the world, noticed that and you were like, hey, you dropped one, you missed one, and I didn't hear you. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and switch out my light box for the Teflon pressing sheet, and we'll get this final block fused and into the books. As I said, all of these pieces are just positioned in place. You can see they're still repositionable. They're just laid where they need to be. And now I'm going to go ahead and fuse. And in order to fuse properly, I need to mist or use steam. Some kind of moisture is required to activate the fusible web. Just the way that concrete needs moisture to activate it, Steam and Steam 2 also requires moisture to activate its fusible web. So I'm going to mist this from the top, and I'm going to sandwich this between my 2 sheets, or my 1 big sheet of Teflon pressing, and I'm just going to go ahead and let the iron do its work. I'm going to give the iron some time to let that heat transfer through all the layers. Meanwhile, I'd like to say thank you for all of you who stuck around through all of the different blocks. I'm looking forward to seeing all the blocks put together and the quilting design. And I'm also looking forward to seeing it in the studio. I think we've done at least 3 of the floral block of the months or kits that we've had, and I love to have those to change out because they really brighten up the studio. I don't know if you saw the video on me cleaning and changing out the studio, and the studio is stark white with none of the videos or none of the applique quilts hanging in it, and it really is kind of stark and depressing in here, even though it's a bright white studio. The quilts really do enliven the room. They soften the sound, they soften the light, so they do a lot of things in here. I'm going to go ahead and keep ironing this. I have to let that heat go through all of the layers, but when I'm done, I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to re-mist it from the back, and I'm also going to re-iron it from the back. You can't overfuse Steam and Seam 2, so you don't have to worry about that. But my Teflon pressing sheet is protecting my fabric from getting scorched. It's protecting my sole plate from getting dirty from any Steam and Seam 2 that might leak out from the edge of the applique. It's protecting my background fabric from anything coming off of the sole plate of my iron. And my dry iron keeps iron from sputtering or leaking. That's why I like to use the spray bottle. So now I'm going to go ahead and, as I said, flip this over and I'll mist it again just to make sure that the moisture got all the way through to the back layers as well. And we can go ahead and make sure we got all of the different layers done. As long as I can see steam rising up off of this block, I know that there's still a little bit of moisture on there. Oh, I'm already thinking about Christmas. Isn't that funny? So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off, and then we will go ahead and show you what the block looks like. As this is the last block, I thought I'd go back through them now. They're not going to be in any particular order. Some of them might be the most current back, but I have the one I just finished at the bottom. So we have the one with the hummingbird. That one was just last month. And then the dragonfly. Here's one with a butterfly. Here's another dragonfly. Something about this makes me think of fish and splashing water. Not sure why. Beautiful hibiscus. Beautiful butterfly. Another hummingbird, or what other bird you might think it is, I'm not sure. And finally, the one we just finished today. And that concludes our 12 blocks. So, next time you see me, we'll have, or we will be, one or the other, we'll be either putting the blocks together with our sashing and border, or we'll have it done. I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet. And then the next step will be getting it quilted. And I'm not sure what quilting pattern we'll use either. But those are fun choices that we get to make yet. So I want to thank you for all of those that were able to stop by for each of the blocks. But I also thank any of you that were able to stop by for even a couple minutes of any of the blocks. Until we get to the next step, I want to thank you for stopping in, and we look forward to seeing you next time here in the Urban Elements studio. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.